Well, I know I'm about a minute early, but I wanted to go ahead and just say hello to everyone that is in attendance already. Um, my name's Amelia Smith. I am helping out today doing this exciting webinar and wanted to talk to you guys about something that I feel pretty passionately about, which is ZAP, and want to talk about some ways that you guys can help um, better utilize that tool and understand it a little bit better so that you can be a resource for your agents within your office. Waiting for a few more people to get on before I get into full swing, as it's not even 3 all the way yet. Alrighty, it is 3 p.m. on the dot, and I do like to start on schedule, and I'm sure we'll have people jump on, but thankfully this will be recorded for everybody to access later on. So basically, when talking about ZAP, I know I've looked over and seen the different webinars that we've had different people host, and each of those seem to focus on different aspects, some talking about the very basics as far as coming in and showing you how to enter leads and enter contacts within the CRM that is ZAP. Some talking about making custom websites. Carrie did a great job. I believe it was a couple webinars ago that talked about that. But today I wanted to focus on a few different things. Right now you're just looking at my dashboard within ZAP. But the main things I wanted to talk about was how you can help agents use ZAP to grow their business. And it's a phenomenal tool. I won't even pretend to know a tenth of what all you can do with ZAP, but every time I learn a little bit more about it, it reminds me of just how great it can be if utilized properly. Like anything, the more you put into it, the more you get out. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about with ZAP is how you can help agents use it to get reviews. Within ZAP, they can actually send reviews out to everyone within their sphere of influence. It doesn't necessarily just have to be people that they've sold homes to. It could be people that they're familiar with, family members, friends, basically pretty much anybody that they've come into contact with that can give a review to state, yes, I do know this person and I think they're trustworthy and can vouch for you. The amount of reviews that someone gets and is recorded within ZAP actually does such a tremendous job of pushing that agent to the top of the list whenever someone's looking for someone, a realtor within the area. I'll show you guys an example from the outside looking in. So I'm going to go, let me start back. Basically, if you go to Coldwell Banker, and let's say you are brand new to an area, you are about to move, let's say to Sebastian, that's where the office is that I'm located at. And I want to know, okay, what agents are near there? Let me learn about these agents. So I would go to the top and click find an agent. And so at the very beginning here, we type in what area we're looking for. And I'm not quite sure why there's 2, but I do know we're in the Treasure Coast. So I'll go ahead and click that. And then I will go to find an agent. Oh, I must have done something wrong. Maybe, see, everything. Okay, here we go. Find an agent. So this is pretty cool. This shows you the power of the reviews within ZAP. So these are agents that have taken the bull by the horn and followed the suggestions of our Peter Hopkins that we have on board. If you guys have not utilized him for your agents or recommended him, I would definitely do that. He is basically the walking encyclopedia of everything Zap. So what his big recommendation is for agents to make sure that they, within Zap, send out requests for reviews. And when they do that, they get these amazing reviews. And if you are good at what you do, and if again you're asking for those recommendations within your sphere of influence, it should show that people do recommend you. And the more reviews you have, the more likely you are to show up at the very top of the list. And that is why Mark Gingras is at the very top. And it's a really great tool to utilize. Again, I don't know why anyone wouldn't be doing this, but within Zap, I'll go back to Zap here, but basically, as far as how you guys are able to go through and ask for recommendations, it's pretty easy to send out. It may not show up everything within my Zap because, of course, I don't have any contacts, but from within here, when they do have different contacts, all you have to do on that particular contact is to click and request a review. It's one of the drop downs. It's fairly simple. And I was going to try and see if I could even see from the bulk actions if it could show me that, but in a minute I might be able to figure out an agent's Zap that I could go into without, I don't want to divulge their clientele and their prospect list, so I'll just move forward on that. But yeah, so as an ASC, I would definitely recommend, number one thing that Zap can do for your agents is to take those reviews and bump them to the top of the list. It really helps within the SEO for our website for Coldwell Banker. It really helps drive that. So I think that's super important. Another aspect within Zap that they need to be utilizing is entering their sphere of influence. I believe this is something that's kind of harped on quite a bit, but by doing so, by adding their sphere of influence, this is really great because Zap actually, Zap helps people, your agents, it helps them keep track of their customer relationships. That's what CRM stands for, customer relationship management. And so for them, every time they enter a new lead, and it doesn't just have to be a lead, this is someone that is within their world. It could be their barber, it could be their pastor, it could be their next door neighbor, it could be their mom. And what it does is it helps you stay on top of birthdays, anniversaries, I mean, pretty much anything that is pertinent to that particular contact. You can enter it within Zap and set them up on whatever type of campaign, if you will, for follow-up plans. And it helps you so that you don't have to keep track of that. And so it really does, once their sphere grows, whether it's people that they know personally or whether it's in a professional sense, it really helps them maintain that, and it helps them keep top of mind with that sphere that they have. So I think it's really neat. Peter, I mentioned a couple times, but Peter Hopkins has come up with some really great follow-up plans. So once they have, once an agent has their information into Zap, then they can go in and select a follow-up plan that basically touches that particular contact on a regular basis. And actually, let me really quick, just for sake of demonstration, I'm going to enter a single contact, and this will be myself as a test here. And try to type this without taking too much time to enter all my fun information, but let's pretend that I was born then. That actually is my birthday, but that's okay. It's pretty common knowledge, so I'm not scared to show it to you. And would you like to send them a welcome email? If that's appropriate, sure. If not, then just not now. And so basically, once we have that particular contact pulled up, and again, I know that a lot of this you guys have seen on previous webinars, but the things that I really love that I've seen thus far from Zap is, again, coming through here and asking for a review. Maybe this is your next door neighbor. Ask for review. Maybe you want to set them up on some type of campaign so that you don't forget about different things with them. So you can come through here and actually set them up on a follow-up plan. And I'm having a little difficulty seeing everything because of the webinar control, but over here on the far right, you have a follow-up plan button that you can click. And I believe there's a ton that are already programmed within Coldwell Banker. They have these preloaded, and these are amazing ways for your agents to, and again, this is the whole focus, is for them to grow their business. So let's just say that you're going to choose something that's already pre-populated by Coldwell Banker. But for me, I think this is pretty amazing, talking to them about, getting the most up-to-date information on your home, and again, it's not sending them spam. It's items that they've researched, Coldwell Banker's researched, Realogy's researched, and they know these are things that, if it's a new lead, this is a great automated plan for them to be on. And we just so happen to be fortunate enough to have Peter Hopkins on our team here, and he has all of these that he's cultivated to be really great items for our follow-up plan. So yeah, using campaigns for the follow-up, that's a huge thing. And if you guys don't feel comfortable leading an agent through that and want some one-on-one time, or you need tech questions, that type of thing, Peter Hopkins and JD is our guru when it comes to social media and video and tech in that regard, but he is also really great when it comes to Zap. But yeah, so one thing I would recommend, and this was actually something that Peter recommended to me in the very beginning when I started working with him on Zap, was to go into, if you go into CB Exchange, there are actually a ton of videos that they're training videos for Zap. And so if you have a minute, I know as ASCs, you guys are pretty overloaded with what you do on a daily basis, but I would say if you do have downtime for just 5-10 minutes, go to CB Exchange and pull up. Let me go over here and I can show you exactly where it's at. But if you go over here, and let me see if I can scoot my little webinar thing down. I always call it my little button because it looks like a button to me. But yeah, so you can come to the Learning Center over here, and once it may not let me do that because I haven't been, oh, look at that. That's exciting. Okay, it did let me go there. It has this amazing, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's this amazing Zap section. And if you really want to know more about Zap, I encourage you to go here. And it actually has from beginning to end within the Zap, from beginning to use Zap to after you've used it or are using it and you have contacts in there, what to do. It has a complete, if you scroll down, it has all the Zap videos right here, kind of gives you an idea of what they're going to be going over. And then again, like I said, I mean, I love how they give the different sections that each of the videos could be categorized in. So whether it's helping the agent set their website up within Zap, driving traffic to it, managing leads, and promoting themselves. Honestly, I'm telling you, Zap, they don't even, I don't even know the amount of money that they'd have to put into a CRM to make it as beneficial as Zap is. Um, Before I open the floor up for questions, I did actually reach out to Peter Hopkins and ask him if he would give us a few minutes of his time to go over anything that I've missed, which I definitely am sure I skipped over something important, but I wanted for him to speak to you guys. He's such a wealth of knowledge, and if you do have time, definitely reach out to him and use him as a resource. Peter, are you able to speak at the moment?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, cool. So thanks, Amelia. You really covered the essentials there for the Ask administrators to assist agents. One thing, if you can go back to the screen, Amelia, where it says contact profile on the Zap, and you go back, let's have a look to where you put basic info. Okay, see where it says agent lead just underneath basic info? This is a really key point. Agents are self-employed business people. They own their own business within our family, and their data belongs to them. So when they enter their information into the CRM, it's actually flagged up as agent data. And you may, it's not likely, but you may get an odd agent who says, well, is there any, like risk to my data? Is it secure? And the reassurance is absolutely, it is. So when data is added, it's ring fenced for that agent. It cannot go over to another agent. And the agent that's entered it is completely in control, because when Zap first came out, you could add information, but you couldn't delete it. So now they can. So if they ever want to delete somebody, so say they have, a client that they're no longer working with, and they've decided it's the end of the road for that follow-up plan with that client, and it's not coming to anything, they can safely remove that contact from their database. So just reassuring agents that the data is secure, and that it is absolutely only in their personal Zap account. It's not shared outside of the system, because that is a key concern for one or two agents. Then occasionally what will happen is when they enter the information about perhaps someone they've met at an open house, or someone that's come in on floor, or even a friend or relative, they may come up as secondary agent instead of primary agent. And that is on this screen here. It's about halfway down under account info. It says agent name, Amelia Smith, and it says agent status, or agent status is primary agent. That's what we want to see. That means that they can email them, they can put them on follow-up plans, and they can send them text messages from their system. If it says secondary agent, they can't, and it's a rare occurrence. But what it means is another agent in that group of offices already has that client in place. So as the administrator, you would go either to your Zap specialist, or if you've got access yourself, find out who that other agent is, and then have a discussion between the two agents as to the kind of ownership of the client, and who's going to be primary and who's going to be secondary. Because clearly people sometimes come across the same customer in different environments. They might do two open houses on a Sunday, and the same client might go to both open houses, and they both register at the open house, and they both enter them into Zap, and whose client it is. So the reason that we do that is to make sure that we don't send two follow-up plans to the same person, because that would be spamming them. They'd be receiving everything twice or three times. So that's the reason why we have primary and secondary agent. So that's something that can be very easily resolved, but it's just to point out to the agents as they enter the data, just check that it shows as primary. Then let's think. Amelia was then go back and share about insights, property insights, Amelia?
Oh, yes, totally forgot about that. Okay, see, that's why you're my brain. So basically, and you can tell me exactly where to get to this information, but I know that I was learning. Oh, hello, right in front of my face. Okay, so insights. So one thing that I've heard a lot from agents is they go on these caravan, looking at homes from other agents after they have sales meetings and that type of thing. Within our group here in Sebastian, I know after they do that, they have asked, okay, so what do I do? I've been told I need to enter some insights, and what they need to do is actually put in the information about the homes that they've seen. And Peter was actually explaining this to me earlier, that as they're going through and adding these insights, this actually helps the agent, even if it's not a Coldwell Banker property or listing, that it actually helps us come up in the search if they're going, let's say, on Google or whatever, looking for that home. If you've entered some insight into, yes, I've seen that home as part of a caravan, or let's say you're in a networking group and you see it in that regard, you can enter information about that particular home, and it actually will associate you with the home if someone goes to search for that, and it helps Coldwell Banker continue to rise in SEO rankings whenever they're searching for those homes. So, Peter, where exactly where would they go in order to enter that information?
Okay, so on the blue bar at the top, it
Yes,
says add,
got it.
and then it
Okay.
says new insights, and then you've got property and local. So the difference is a property insight is one where the agent's been to an open house, they've done a showing, they've been on a caravan or tour of homes, or they've previewed homes, or they've been to a new builder and looked at the models. They can enter a property insight specific to any property that they have an opinion on, which we always encourage them always to put positive opinions about each property, never anything negative, because it's public and it goes out on the coldwellbanker.com. So we don't want to say, the home was okay, but the driveway is all cracked up, or the pool needs resurfacing. Just positive elements. That it's got a great view, very spacious, well maintained, great pride of ownership, that type of thing. And then the local insights is just as important, which is the button below. That's where you can, as an desk administrator, help with the agents to get more and more leads from Zap. Because if you write a blog article under that new local insights, you can do it for a specific neighborhood. So, for instance, you might have the spires at West Haven, for instance. So if you then create a blog and you call it Spires at West Haven, and then you write all about it, that will go onto Google. And when somebody searches for a particular community by name, there's a very high probability that that blog article will come up on Google, and therefore the agent will get leads on that particular community. So you can do it right down to street level, community, area, city, particular neighborhoods, whatever the agent chooses is appropriate. But they should be doing, as many of those as possible. That's really the key point, so that we're kind of saturating the whole area around your offices. So they're the two different insights. And again, SEO is all about original content. So never copy and paste anybody else's content. When you're creating these articles, it's literally write them from scratch. Google recognizes that it's then a distinct and new item relating to that subject, and that will ordinarily get it right to the top of Google's front page for the search term. So I think I can't read it to you, but is it Caller Club at Sebastian?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
one of the agents will have written about that locally here in Sebastian, Florida, which is a great use of Zap. So those insights, along with the reviews, that Amelia was talking about at the very beginning, getting those reviews on coldwellbanker.com. So if an agent has reviews, has property insights and neighborhood community insights and blogs, they're going to have very, very content rich Coldwell Banker sites for that agent, and that's going to attract traffic. And that's what it's about, is getting more people to view that agent's page. And when they make an inquiry, that lead goes to that agent because it's come from their Zap site.
It's, I mean, truly, it is an amazing tool. I sound like an infomercial, but I mean, it really is. The more I learn about Zap, the more I mean, it's such a valuable tool, and we're lucky to have use of that. So, yeah, pretty cool. So I haven't been hosting webinars for quite a bit, so pardon me, I'm a little rusty, but we do have about 6 minutes still left on the webinar. Wanted to find out if anybody had any questions or something that we hadn't covered. And hello, Tabby Wentworth, I see your hello from earlier. And just wanted to open it up for questions if anybody has any at the moment. Anything we haven't covered, or while someone is typing, or if you want to raise your hand, you're welcome to do that, and I'll open your mic up. But one thing, again, like I said, with the reviews, I can't say enough about that. Peter, also while we're waiting for anybody to ask any questions, can you explain just a little bit about the Zap score and how that comes about and what that means?
Sure, yeah. So when you have a live contact in the system and they've received a welcome email, which is the first email that we send out, that welcome email has a button in it, and it creates an account for that particular buyer or seller. And once the buyer or seller has created that account, their activity online is then reported back to the agent in their Zap profile for that contact. And what Zap does is it sorts the wheat from the chaff, if you like. It does the heavy lifting for the agents. So you can put thousands of leads into Zap. I mean, I'm running 79,000 in here at the moment. And the system actually identifies which of those customers we should be calling first, because it's telling us that they've been opening our emails from our follow-up campaign. It's telling us that they've requested info about a property, or they've asked another question. And the best of all is a showing request. And we've had about 2,600 showing requests in the last year or so. And a showing request is as good as you get in terms of a lead. It's someone saying, I'm probably not working with an agent, I want to go look at this home. So that Zap score for agents who have 100 leads or less will show as low, mid, or high probability that they should be working with that client and they're likely to do business. So it'll say low, mid, or high on the Zap score. Once they've got 100 people who are actually visiting their website, that unlocks and it then becomes a 0 to 99, so 100. So once the person gets above about an 80, that's when the agent really needs to hone in. So the best practice for the agent and you as their support in the office is to have the agents log in every day, get a sphere uploaded, add in as many contacts as they can, start them with welcome emails, get them on follow-up campaigns, and then they will start to see, over a few weeks, they'll start to see customers coming back, searching homes, and then the Zap scores start to rise, and that's taken the heavy lifting out of sorting which leads they need to be calling and which need to continue to be nurtured and may come to fruition later down the line. So the Zap score is, unfortunately, we can't show it right now because we would have to have a live contact to put on the screen, but we're afraid to put a customer's private data onto the internet, so we don't want to show a real life example. But all you do is you select the contacts button, and then it will automatically have the highest and most likely person at the top, and then going down the list. So all they've got to do is look down the list each morning, and then they'll know who to contact that day. I think that covers it.
Yeah, absolutely. One question that was asked by Tabby Wentworth, she said, with reviews, is it true that no one except for a Zap contact of yours can leave a review?
Yes, there is no other way of requesting a review on coalbanker.com than selecting add, putting the person's name in and their email and phone number, preferably, but definitely their email and name, and then clicking the more button, and then there's a little star and it says request review. That then sends a coded email to that person, and that's what we've got on the screen right now. It would come through and say, hi Amanda, how's everything going? And they click on that button and then they can write the review. So it's right there, ask for review, and it creates an email. That email can be edited, so the message above it, just where it says ask review and then just below that message, that's all editable. So if the person doesn't like that wording, so perhaps it's a family member and just want to say, hey John, I'll buy you a few beers, whatever it takes to help me out here, right? They can put whatever they want in that because it's a personal email direct to that contact. And that write a review button is then encoded so that it goes to the correct agent that sent it. But that is the only way to get reviews on coalbanker.com. There's no other way.
Definitely. Wow, Tabby, I love it. She said, I've had lots of agents send requests and then everyone answers saying they can't, so they must be sending it wrong.
Okay, no, it was faulty, unfortunately, for the whole of March. It was fixed on the 4th of April, so it is now working. But there was an error for pretty much the whole of March. So the way that they're doing it is very likely correct, which is they click more and click request review. If they send an email outside of that, so just say they go to send email and request review that way, that doesn't work. The only way that works is to go add contact, or if the contact's already there, open the contact, click more, and then click request review. But it is now working. We've confirmed that. It was unfortunately an error that came up in March, and it was a release that came out on April 4th that fixed it.
Perfect. But yeah, if you guys do have any questions, I know we're a minute over, but I just wanted to say, if you guys do have any questions, you can always reach out to Peter Hopkins and JD, and I won't attempt to butcher JD's last name, but he's on our marketing page with us. I will say Waldvogel, maybe. Yes, I think I'll go with that as my final answer. But yeah, they're both great at helping field questions, and if they don't know, they can get an answer as well. So again, my name's Amelia Smith, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this today. So, and thanks again for helping out, Peter. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
All right, awesome. Well, you guys have a great day, and thanks again for your questions, Tabby, and you guys have a great day.